Everybody here on this winter morning. I just came from the West End School, and they were announcing the construction of a new gymnasium, or a gymnasium for their campus in West Louisville, and there were probably 150, 200 people there. So when it comes to education, our community is focused and supportive, so it was good to see. As you all have heard me say many times, we have three broad goals for my administration. I talk about them every day: healthier city, a more compassionate city, and a more educated city of lifelong learners. Now, to reach these goals, this is not something where you just snap your fingers and one day say we've declared victory. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint, and we do it one step at a time, we do it one student at a time, one person at a time. With our education goal in particular, we focus on one person and one degree at a time, and people helping that person get their degree as well. We definitely are in the midst of a culture change in our city as it relates to education, a culture in which our default thinking is one on getting a higher degree. Not saying a high school degree is good enough, you've got to get a 2-year degree, 4-year degree, go on and get your master's, PhD, a certificate, something beyond high school. And that culture certainly was evident throughout this whole month and throughout this week. It's college application week when thousands of kids in schools are applying for college and getting all their work in order, and hopefully kind of being part of moving toward a crowning achievement of all the work that they've done over their past 15 or so years. Now, in addition to focusing on college, we also have to focus on growing quality jobs that employ people who can earn those degrees. So obviously education and jobs go hand in hand, and you got to have them both. And we've got to ensure that the college degrees that people are reaching right now are jobs that are degrees that are going to lead them toward what we call 21st century jobs. These are jobs in science, technology, engineering, math, certainly all the jobs that have made our economy right now. But when you think about the STEM jobs, those are going to be jobs that are going to provide a career's worth of opportunity for you. And then what we see also here in Louisville and throughout the world is that when you lay innovation, engineering, invention over any type of job, whether it's an old economy or new economy job, we also have to emphasize that type of education and experience as well. So today we're here to talk about how we're doing in our journey on the path to achieve 55,000 more degrees in our community by the year 2020, which when we do that, that will put us in the top tier of American cities in terms of having adults with college degrees. I'm proud of our community in that we set an audacious goal like this and that we pulled together so many people from our community to work on it. You'll find that that's unusual for cities around the country. So that also heightens us in terms of accountability and reporting as well. So we're happy to report every year on how we're doing so that we can see what our progress is for the community. So we've got mixed results in this year, the second year of the report, that I'll talk a little bit about, and then Mary Gwen Wheeler, our executive director, is going to talk about further. So the latest results in terms of a decline in working age adults with college degrees shown that we've fallen a little bit off track. I've said to our board that, this is one data point. One data point is not a trend to make, but it's making us take a look at the data in many different ways so we can understand what's going on. But I can tell you from the 55,000 degree board perspective and the community perspective, with all the support partners, many of which are here right now, we just say, let's stay on our plan, let's keep our head down, let's ask more and more people to help us, and keep working. This number from 2010 to 2011 shows a slight decline, which is reversed to several years of steady increases in working age adults with college degrees. It's a 1.2 point decrease that we must reverse. So while it's not huge, it's not what we want to see. Now, there's also good news in the report that college and university completion rates are up. So there's several underlying factors that are positive that we're looking at here. We're united with a common agenda to make Louisville a well-educated city where lifelong learning is part of everyday life, and it's just ingrained into our DNA. That's what we do. As we learn, we get degrees. We also have informal learning every day. And that requires everybody to be involved, whether it's the student or the people supporting the student, whether it's in your neighborhood as a friend or at work as a coworker. So I want to talk about just a few ways that people can help. Because some folks say, look, I had my degree, there's nothing I can do about this. Everybody can do something. If you can start saving for college for your child by opening a 529 education savings plan. Money's taken out of your paycheck tax-free when you do that. If you've attended college but you haven't graduated, return and earn your degree. Many employers offer tuition assistance and reimbursement. We're going to be hearing from one of our leaders in that category today. We almost have 100,000 adults that are working right now that have some college but have not completed, so that's a big pool for us to achieve 55,000 degrees. And then if you've got a coworker that's going back to school, inevitably they're going to need a little help. It might be to babysit, it might be to watch their house, or just take a little work off their shoulders at work. You can help them that way. And then if you're an employer, and we'd really like to emphasize this, join the Degrees at Work program that's coordinated by Greater Louisville Incorporated, GLI. This program is going to help you develop a return to college and finish college plan for your employees. And not only is that good for them as people, but it's also good for your bottom line at your company. Mary Gwen Wheeler is our executive director. Has done a great job rallying our troops and our board, making commitments for higher education, and then monitoring and diagnosing where we're at all times so that we can continue to improve. So Mary Gwen, would you come up and speak a little bit more directly to the data? Mary Gwen Wheeler.
Thanks, Mayor, and all our partners that are here today. Thank you for being here. Part of the 55,000 degree mission is to measure our community progress and report to everyone. It's a sort of mutual accountability agreement to encourage improvement throughout the education system. So that's the reason for this annual progress report. So this report shows that we're making strides in many important areas, from high school preparation to working age adults who are enrolled in college to college completion. However, as the mayor said, we are simply not on track to reach our goal of 55,000 more college degrees and fully half of the working age population with a college education by the year 2020. So let's look at the numbers. First, this chart here shows the percentage of working age adults with degrees. After a decade of steady improvement, 2011 saw a dip in the percentage of working age adults with college degrees. It was a small decrease, as the mayor said, 1.2% from 2010 to 2011. And since 2009, the last time we reported a 1.5% decrease. And we must reverse that trend. The sharpest decline was in bachelor's degree holders, which was a bit surprising since we know that the area colleges and universities have graduated more people. So the number of graduates from those area universities have been increasing. So one possible explanation for this decline could be the sluggish economy that caused college-educated people to leave Louisville for other parts of the region or the country. That this was a time of low job growth and wage growth, and that the largest decline was in the young population from 24 to 35-year-olds. This may mean that the graduates, college graduates, are leaving in search of a job elsewhere. Keep in mind and remember that these are 2011 numbers, so if the economy is a significant part of the decline, we would expect some positive change in next year's annual report because unemployment has dropped and the economy has improved in 2012. But really, additional research is needed for us to really dig into these demographic shifts and understand them better. Next chart. This is a degree completion, as I said, that are increasing. Colleges and universities in the Louisville area are continuing to make good progress in producing more and more college graduates. As you can see, the number of associate degrees and the number of bachelor's degrees increased again in 2010, the most recent year that data is available. The overall increase was 3%, with associate's degrees rising by 6%. So that increase in associate degrees is particularly important, we believe, because it presents more opportunities to increase transfers to four-year colleges and universities and increase that bachelor degree at a higher rate. So an important next study will be to track where recent college graduates go in terms of jobs and education and location, So discussions are underway with some of the Kentucky state agencies like the P20 Data Collaborative to mine state databases for this information, comparing employment and unemployment statistics to those who have graduated recently from our colleges. Next chart. Another promising statistic. This is high school college preparation of seniors, and it's on the rise. Preparation for college is another area of progress, according to the report. More seniors at Jefferson County Public Schools met the benchmarks on state tests for college and career readiness. That 14% increase means that nearly half, 45% of graduates are now ready for college and career. While that's great progress, we've clearly got more work to do to reach our midterm goal of 66% by 2015 and the 2020 goal of 90% readiness. As most of you know, Kentucky is a leader in the implementation of the new Common Core standards, which are designed to focus classroom instruction on the knowledge and critical thinking skills needed to succeed in college and in life. So as a member of the State Board of Education, I can also tell you that educators across the state believe that this is the most important advance in K-12 education since the Kentucky Reform Act in 1990. So we really believe we can expect to see college and career preparation numbers increase. The next chart. Working age college enrollment has also improved. It has doubled in a decade. When we launched 55,000 Degrees 2 years ago, we recognized that our best shot at reaching the goal is to convince many of Louisville's working adults to go back and finish their degrees. We have more than 96,000 working age adults with some college credit hours who don't have a college degree. The message is resonating with many adults who've realized that through the economic downturn, college degrees are a key to keeping good-paying jobs and advancing careers. In the past 2 years, enrollment among working-age adults has increased by 6,000, or a 24% increase. And over the past decade, we've doubled the number of working-age college students. So part of this success, we believe, is due to our partners, Greater Louisville Inc., GLIs, and some of the Louisville's leading employers who have created Degrees at Work, a workplace program that helps employees to finish their degrees while continuing to work. So far, more than 30 employers have joined Degrees at Work to help their employees with things like flexible work schedules, tuition reimbursement, peer mentoring, and other supports. And in just a moment, you'll hear from a leader of one of those partner companies who can tell you why an educated workforce is so important. So in closing, I want to echo the mayor's call for action. The data from this annual report clearly show that 55,000 Degrees and its partners are making a positive impact and difference in the educational attainment in this community. But we need more partners. We need more students and more graduates. You can be one of them. Go to our website, 55000degrees.org, to make a pledge and get involved. You'll find many other people, organizations, and companies have stepped up. From Phillips Memorial CME Church, which is promising 10 people will earn degrees, to LG&E, which is supporting 150 college graduates, to Mayor Fisher, who has pledged to support 462 more degrees throughout Louisville Metro government. And this week, College Application Week, the focus is on getting every senior to apply to at least one college. Help one of them. So thank you to the partners and to Mayor for your leadership and this opportunity to help make a difference in our future.
Thanks, Mary Gwen. We'll take questions in a minute. I want to recognize Superintendent Donna Hargens for here, who has been steadfast in her commitment for college and career readiness of JCPS students, and has really set a bold and audacious goal and brutally uses the data to track you, so we appreciate your effort there. And the Vice Chair of 55,000 Degrees, Dr. Tony Newberry, over here of JCTC, who's also doing a tremendous job in our technical and community college levels with new support programs, inspiration, any way we can swarm the challenge here at JCTC is right at the head of the parade, so we appreciate that, Dr. Newberry. And I want to encourage everybody to make sure that they get a report. I think if you don't have them already. And Priscilla Daffin from our team did a great job designing this along with the data. So Priscilla, we thank you very much for your good work on that. Okay, when we take a look at the 55,000 degrees, you know, we're looking at major buckets of where those degrees come from. And while I say they come 1 degree at a time, there's certain areas that we're focusing on. The African American community stepped up as really our first group to say, hey, we're going to contribute 15,000 of those degrees. And they have their own strategic plan working on that. Certainly there's a lot of faith-based partners in that effort as well. But we also talked about working age adults, where there's 100,000 adults that are working and have some type of college experience but haven't finished yet. We don't have so much a problem in the community with the college-going culture. It's college finishing that we want to focus on. When we get that finishing in place, we'll get to the 55,000 degrees, no problem. So for the adults, it takes a dual commitment, obviously, from the employer and the employee to make it happen. And this is a wonderful thing when it takes place, because not only does the employee get the degree, and they have now broader horizons for themselves, but they also return to their companies and are able to contribute more effectively to the company in terms of its bottom line, both to the shareholders, to the suppliers, to the employees, to the environment, etc. And we have a great leader in the community that's really modeling this for us, and it's Paul Newman, who's president of Universal Woods. His company has embraced the 55K initiative and is helping put its workforce back through college through programs such as tuition reimbursement. So Paul's here today and is going to share what his company is doing at 55K. Paul Newman.
Hi, I'm Paul Newman. Our company, Universal Woods, is out in Jeffersontown Industrial Park. We've got about 80 employees here in Louisville, another dozen up in Cincinnati, and 7 at a sales and warehouse operation in Europe, in Belgium. I guess I really want to start by thanking 55,000 Degrees and Degrees at Work, not only for the work they're doing for Louisville, but specifically the work they're doing for our company. And in the sense of raising the profile of the benefits of education. We've had a tuition reimbursement program for 18 years. What we haven't had is people that were enthusiastic about embracing it. And I think, you know, we've seen a huge gain over the last 5 or 6 years of people getting involved, going back to school, and we're now at a point where with 80 employees here in Louisville, 12 of them are going to be going to school in the spring semester. That's obviously 15% of our employees. It's 25% of our employees that don't have degrees. And to put that in context, I looked at the numbers this morning after I read the note in the paper. 35% of our employees have degrees, very similar to the city of Louisville. 30% of our employees have some college but haven't completed a degree. Again, very much like the city of Louisville. Maybe the difference is half of those people are going back to school. And so to put that into context, it would mean 48,000 adult learners would be going to school if we could get to the same point that we are. And hopefully we're going to go beyond where we are with that. Why do we do it? It's not altruism. It's good business. You know, Mayor Fisher alluded to the fact that continuous learning was important for us as a community. It's critical to us as a business. Continuous learning sparks continuous improvement. Continuous improvement sparks improvement for what we do for a customer, and that drives growth in your business. We've grown our business. We've more than doubled our sales over the last 3 years. And we've managed to accelerate our growth as we've brought in more educated employees. We've obviously hired some of those people. We hire engineers. But we're getting close to a point where we're starting to train some of our own. We've got 2 people that obtained degrees in 2012. We'll have another 3 or 4 that complete degrees this year. Mary Gwen, our commitment for Count Me In originally was 10. You know, we're going to get halfway there after 2 years. Obviously, we're going to need to revise that figure. You know, we'll be at 20, we'll be at 25. You know, and again, that's exciting for us because 6 of those 12 are working on STEM degrees. You know, there's a shortage of engineers in our community. There's a shortage of people with respect to technical educations, and the ability for us to obtain some of those with our own workforce is obviously beneficial for us. You know, those guys go to JCTC, which has done a fabulous job. JCTC sends a counselor to our work site, and one time a semester, and they go through what people's classes are for the next schedule, next semester. They talk to them about new employees, about the possibility of going back to college. It's a great partnership. We have people at U of L, Ivy Tech, Sullivan, a couple of online schools. Again, it's something that the whole community has embraced, and we're just a little microcosm of that, but we're a huge beneficiary of that because it's obviously going to help propel our growth over the next 10 years. I think if you think about this, Mayor Fisher talked about the fact I think there are 30 partner companies. I asked originally, I think there are 2,300 people that are part of GLI. That means 2,270 people ought to join up. And as you do, it becomes a huge win for the employee, for the company, and for our community. It's, if you will, in Louisville parlance, it would be a trifecta for our business and what we do. So thank you all very much. Again, thank 55,000 Degrees for letting us participate in the work.
That says it all. So, great job. So with that, we're happy to take any questions. Mary Gwen, do you want to?
Are you, what word would you use? Optimistic, pessimistic in terms of, you know, the overall goal by 2020, given these numbers today?
Well, you can see it's kind of a mixed bag. I'm optimistic in that the baseline is being put in place for us to achieve those degrees. When we talk about increases in college readiness coming out of JCPS and some of the other factors there, the dip that was shown of that 1.2%, 1.2, clearly that's not what we want to see. But I emphasize, you know, one data point does not a trend make. So what we're going to do and continue to do as the board is we've got our annual strategic planning session coming up here in the next couple of weeks where we'll peel apart the data and see what we can do and change. We do need more degrees at work partners, like Paul said, that we have an unlimited, well, not unlimited, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of companies that could join up in this, and so we will put more focus on that. Mary Gwen?
I would agree with the mayor that I'm very optimistic. What these numbers confirm is the need for this kind of collaborative effort and emphasizes the urgency of our work. So it gives us the motivation to double down, and the leading indicators, as we said, are encouraging: increased college readiness, more people enrolled, increased graduation numbers, and we just have to accelerate that rate.
Okay, I'll just close by making a statement that I alluded to at the beginning here. This is an unusual program for cities to embark on. When other mayors talk to me about it, they are like, do you really want to be that accountable? You know, is what they ask. And, you know, and I say back, we have to be that accountable. You know, this is not a game in terms of preparing our workforce for 21st century jobs. And the best way for us to do that as a community is to be very clear what our goals are and be very clear how we can help each other. So that's what 55,000 Degrees is all about. We're in the early stages of a journey that's got good structure around it, good leadership around it, and I would just encourage everybody in the community to say, how can we help get a hold of us, and we'll plug in. So thanks for coming out today.